Friends, it's Miss Kelley again from the library's outreach department. That's the Carroll County Public Library. And I'm going to welcome you here to our YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying all the story time videos that my fellow librarians and I have been sharing with you. And we're also putting on some extra content, kind of add-ons to those story time videos. And this is a little add-on to my butterfly and moth story time that I shared with you from my home. So I know the grown-ups that are out there watching with you understand that when children experience new things, they learn the best when they can engage all of their senses. And I think that's true for us as grown-ups too, isn't it? So when we are experiencing a new food, we want to touch it, we want to look at it, we want to smell it, we want to taste it. And maybe it's a new kind of music. We want to move our bodies, we want to listen, we want to feel the beat in our bodies. So if you were learning about butterflies and moths, maybe you want to get all your senses involved by making a sensory bin. So here's a simple little how-to of how you might do that. Now, in a few minutes, I went around my home and used my imagination and thought, what can I collect that has anything to do with butterflies that I could put inside a container? And I happen to have this big plastic flat tub, but you could use a cardboard box, you could use a big pot, you could use anything you have in your home that is a safe container for children to touch and feel and play with, something that's not breakable. So I'm going to take the lid off first, set that aside, and show you some of the things that I gathered. And you're going to have to play along a little pretend with me because we know this isn't really going to be a real outside with real butterflies in it. Now, some of my friends out there might have just celebrated a holiday a few weeks ago called Easter, and maybe you had an Easter basket. I had a few of those sitting around from my two grandsons, Rhett and Cade, and so inside that I have this Easter grass. Mine is made out of paper. Sometimes Easter grass is made out of plastic, but I'm just going to spread that out, stretch it apart, and spread it out inside my bin. And you can make it loose like grass. So we can pretend that this is the grass out in my yard. And now I'm going to think, if I'm making a habitat, a home for butterflies, what would butterflies like to have in their habitat? Do you remember what butterflies eat? That's right, they drink nectar from flowers. Now, I happened in my craft supplies to have some craft foam flowers that were already cut out. But you could cut flowers from your own craft foam or from construction paper, or you could just draw flowers on plain paper, or maybe you have pictures of flowers you could print from the computer or cut from a magazine. But I use these foam ones because they're sturdy, they don't tear easily. So I'm going to drop those in. Doesn't that look pretty? It's like a flowery garden. I also have some silk flowers. And so one of the ways we could engage our senses, our sense of smell, is if your mom or dad or whoever your grown-up is at your home, if they have a little bit of perfume, or maybe they even have some essential oils that smell like flowers, could put a little dot on these artificial flowers and let it dry so it's safe for you to touch it. And then you'd have that wonderful smell of the blooming flowers. So I'm going to stand up some flowers in my Easter grass. And that's fun. It's just sticking them in there helps to engage my hands in the sense of touch. And I'm using my eyes for the sense of sight. And I can hear with my ears, with the sense of hearing, I can hear the sound it makes when I rustle in the grass. Can you hear that sound? See, my garden is really growing. Now, if you remember that life cycle, butterflies start out as a tiny, tiny egg. I didn't really have something good to put in there to pretend to be eggs. Maybe you have some small round balls at your house or something that you could think of. Jelly beans would work, but they'd get kind of sticky. Something you could put in there to pretend they were butterfly eggs. But I did have an idea for what happens when those eggs hatch. Caterpillars emerge and they eat leaves and they grow and grow and grow. And so, do you have any of these at your house? These fuzzy, bendable chenille stems? Sometimes we call them pipe cleaners. Well, I took my wire cutters, and you can also use scissors for this. You might need to get help from your grown-up. And I just cut the pipe cleaner into smaller pieces to be little bendy caterpillars. And I'm going to put my caterpillars in there, and I could make several different sizes and shapes and colors of caterpillars. You could even cut 2 different colors and twist them together. It would be kind of fun, and leave the ends like an antenna. So there are my caterpillars. Now, that caterpillar is going to eat those leaves and get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's ready to make a cocoon. That's right. I'm not sure what to put in there to pretend I have a cocoon, but I know what happens after the caterpillar has stayed inside his cocoon or his chrysalis. He emerges into become a butterfly. And again, I have some foam shapes of butterflies, and I could place them anywhere I wanted inside the crate, inside my sensory bin. They could be on the flowers, they could be down in the grass. I can have butterflies everywhere. And you could have fun with this in lots of different ways. So can you peek in there and see all my butterflies and all my flowers and my caterpillars? So maybe in your kitchen, your grown-up might have a little tiny sieve like this. I use this when I'm cooking, but I'm going to pretend it's a butterfly net for now, and I can reach into my sensory bin and catch a butterfly. Woohoo! And then I keep a magnifying glass here, a toy magnifying glass that my grandsons like to play with. I could look through the magnifying glass and examine my butterfly using my sense of sight. I could also look at everything else I can see the patterns on the flower petals. I can see the shapes of the grass. So that's a really fun way to use your eyes and your sense of sight. You touch, sight, hearing, smell. So there's only one sense that's missing, and that's the sense of taste. Now, I don't think we should eat any of the things that are in here. They're not going to taste very good. But we could use our imaginations and imagine what it would be like if the butterfly drinks that sweet nectar from the flowers. Can you think of your favorite sweet treat and imagine maybe when the butterfly drinks the nectar, it tastes like a lollipop or a jelly bean, a popsicle. I don't know. What do you think? You'll have to ask your next butterfly that you meet. So that is a simple, easy way to make a sensory bin that you and your friends and family can play with and explore. And when you're ready to put it away and clean up at the end of the time, all you simply do is snap on your lid, or if it's a box, you can close the box. If it's a pot, you can put on the lid, and then this can be put away until the next time you're ready to play with it again. If you like this idea, you might want to explore the idea of sensory bins online. My favorite place to do that is on Pinterest. And you might know that the Outreach Department of the Carroll County Public Library has our very own Pinterest page. I'll share that link with you in a minute. And you can go there and see more information about making a butterfly sensory bin. But then if you search on Pinterest, you can find sensory bins for just about anything you want to explore. And so that's a fun, interesting, engaging way for the whole family, all ages, to get involved in playing and using your senses. So have fun, explorers. And maybe if you make a sensory bin of your very own, you could share with us on Facebook. Send us your photos. Tell us the stories of how that went for you. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, see you later, friends. Bye-bye.